September 1, the Democratic Party begins work to get ready for the June 2019 electoral battle. Basha stressed that in parallel with the elections in the party, they will start the process of selecting candidates for the municipal races. The Foreign Affairs Minister Dietmar Bushati gave a speech during the informal meeting of EU foreign ministers in Vienna, highlighting Albania's achievements as well as touching on the Kosovo-Serbia agreement. Prime Minister Rama convened the mayors in his office to say that the passing tourist season was successful. Rama urged mayors to start work next year and focus on agro-tourism as an opportunity for development of tourist areas. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Friday the 31st of August 2018. Welcome to the return of the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Democratic Party Chair Basha, in a conversation with journalists, denied the news which arose during the summer of the possibility of co-governance with the Socialists. Basha announced that in September the party election process will start after having been postponed several months ago. In parallel with this, he said candidates for local elections will be evidenced. Basha implied that the opposition does not intend to boycott the election, although he accuses the Socialists of seeking to buy citizens' votes. At this point, Basha, for the first time, gave a clear message that the candidates will be in common with other opposition forces, including the SMI. The DP chair did not give details of the opposition's behaviour with the Assembly, but when it comes to the new theatre law, he had a final call on the Socialists. The law on the new theatre must be withdrawn. There will be announcements of confrontation and civil conflict, said Basha. For the first time, Basha also talked about the issue of Kosovo by expressing his stance against the idea for the correction of the borders. He said that such an idea was proposed by the Serbs in 2010, but according to him, it is an anti-European and anti-NATO sentiment. Prime Minister of Kosovo, Rama, reacted once again to debate on the border correction between Kosovo and Serbia. He has expressed his opposition to this idea, even called it devastating and that it could bring about new tragedies in the Balkans. The ongoing public discussion on border redesign and territorial exchange is an invitation for new tragedies in the Balkans, which leads to destabilisation, insecurity and endangering long-term political and security investments for stability and peace in Kosovo and the region, said Haradinaj. The head of Kosovo's government ensures that he will continue to strongly stand against these devastating ideas and urges all friendly countries and international contributing institutions to Kosovo to ensure such ideas do not reach the decision-making table. Haradinaj emphasises that Kosovo's goal is to normalise relations with Serbia despite the problematic past. We have been determined and worked in particular to establish good relations with all of our neighbours, including the Republic of Serbia. We have paid an expensive price for the peace we have today, and we do not want to go back to dangerous scenarios requiring new NATO intervention, said Haradinaj. According to Haradinaj, mutual recognition and lasting peace is the only possible result that is expected of the agreement between Kosovo and Serbia. But after the Prime Minister's statement, an immediate reaction has been issued by President Hashim Thaçi, who accuses certain individuals in Kosovo of actions trying to create panic and confusion. According to Thaçi, despite this, Kosovo remains committed to dialogue and achievement of the ultimate peace agreement. Further on, Thaçi states that calls suggesting of new wars or atrocities in the Balkans belong to the mentality of the last century. At the European meeting of European Union foreign ministers in Vienna, Minister Dietmar Bushati emphasised the consistent attitude of Albania in relation to EU foreign policy. Minister Bushati noted the considerable progress that Albania has made recently on its path towards the European Union membership, having already begun the screening process. I think we have made significant progress over the last few months, and now there is a clear horizon for Albania, but also for our neighbour. There is also a time limit. We have started the screening process, which will give us great opportunities for transforming our institutions and reforms, said Dietmar Bushati. Bushati also spoke about the agreement between Serbia and Kosovo, declaring that this dialogue needs to be closed with a legally binding reciprocal agreement that will bring more stability to the region. Equally important is to encourage this process so that hopefully it will be finalised through mutually recognised agreements, mandatory legal agreements that will provide more democratic stability throughout our region, said Minister Dietmar Bushati. During his stay in Vienna, Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs Bushati also attended the reception hosted by the Federal President of Austria. The end of the tourist season has given its first effects to the strengthening of the European currency. According to the Bank of Albania data, €1 was exchanged with 126.27 lek on Friday, which is the highest value since the beginning of June. The increasing trend is expected to continue in the coming months as the exit of migrants and tourists have already begun to reduce the amount of euro in circulation. Experts declare that the European currency will continue to strengthen in the coming months. The expert, Ardian Civici, says that despite the appreciation against the Albanian lek, the European currency will not exceed the value of 130 lek. Bearing in mind the fact that the European currency is already tightening against the national currency, Ardian Civici suggests that the Bank of Albania should interrupt the intervention of buying euros in the market. In the last 3 months, the European currency has remained at 125 lek. According to the Bank of Albania data, the lek appreciated on average by 2.3% against the euro in 2017, but this appreciation accelerated around 6.4% only in the first half of 2018. From January to August, the European currency lost about 10 points in the exchange rate, falling from 134 to 125 lek. The municipality of Tirana has completed the rehabilitation of the road infrastructure in the residential block bordered by Cemal Stafa Street, Dibra Street and Bardul Street, increasing the livability of one of Tirana's oldest neighbourhoods, now with the best sidewalks and more lighting. The head of the municipality of Tirana, Erion Veliaj, praised the positive transformation that the whole neighbourhood has undergone. In the past, Administrative Unit Number 8 has produced mayors and deputy mayors, but this has not translated into work for this area. It has more probably translated into manipulation of voters rather than concrete work. I believe we have proven that real action can only be taken by this administration. Residents of Administrative Unit Number 8 have been excellent citizens, starting from its old and traditional areas with old Tironans who were the first leaving 1 metre to pull their split wall in order to create space for families, parents, paraplegics and mothers with prams to pass, said Erion Veliaj. Veliaj stressed that the trust of residents of Unit Number 8 has been expressed in the new administration of the municipality of Tirana and have been translated into investments in over 50 roads. The Mayor also brought attention to interventions made in educational infrastructure, which has led to a decrease in classroom loads, as well as an increase in the quality of teaching. We have also intervened in schools, starting from the Shkola e Kuqe to the Servete Machi school that is being rebuilt from the beginning, across the kindergartens and nurseries. I believe that this unit has become better today, and we have to acknowledge that the unit no longer has the physiognomy that it had in the 1990s. Today, the unit also includes Bregui Lumit, affecting units 4, 8, 9 and 11. We initially intervened to rehabilitate the river. Then we have rehabilitated several residential blocks along with several hectares, said Erion Veliaj. Veliaj concluded that students returning to their desks on September 17th will find a city that continues to improve. Prime Minister Rama shared with the mayors the results of the tourist season. So far, according to the Prime Minister, employment has risen sharply and state coffers have received an additional €500 million from tourism. The task that Rama left to the mayors, even supplicating, was to focus on agro-tourism. I would pray a lot and I would ask you to focus on agro-tourism. The potential for agro-tourism is so great and the income that agro-tourism brings to local government units are potentially so big, we are forced to push and repeat the call for applications, said Prime Minister Rama. Boycotted by the democratic mayors of the municipalities, Rama asked his people to start work now for the next tourist season, despite the fact that they will be in the middle of the election campaign and despite the fact that some of them may not be candidates. I invite you all to make your reflections for the season, outline your conclusions that are deeper than ours because you are on the ground on a daily basis, and make your proposals and requirements for next season. Although there are elections in the next June, many of you may be in the campaign, others may not be, that does not affect the preparation for the season, which should start as soon as possible, said Rama. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.